Welcome to the introduction on corporate and business law. About the subject. Corporate and business law subject focuses on developing the knowledge and skills of the students in the understanding of the general legal framework. The subject also focuses on specific legal areas relating to business. Please note, the aim is not to make the students legal experts. The subject has been designed with an objective to develop the students into a well-informed professional accountant. They will understand the legal issues related to doing business. Students are trained not only to recognize the limitations of their legal knowledge, but also to reach out to professional legal expertise for more clarity on the issues in hand. Students are evaluated to find out their level of understanding of legal principles and their application. The flow of topics covers all main areas of corporate and business law, which a professional accountant is expected to know. Essential elements of the legal system. This section begins with coverage of the concept of law. Further, it explains the way laws are created in the UK legal system and administered. Students have to learn the finer distinctions between criminal law and civil law, between common law and civil law, and between public law and private law. The major focus is on civil law. It sets out the rights and duties of persons in relation to each other. In addition to the topical area of human rights legislation, there are elements of criminal law in relation to companies, insolvency, insider dealing, and money laundering. Law of obligations. The subject later distinguishes two important types of obligations that individuals and businesses have, that is, contract and tort. Contract. When individuals or businesses make agreements, a legally binding contract may be formed. This section specifies what a valid contract must contain. It also focuses on the requirements that must be met for a contract to be binding on the parties involved, and under which circumstances the contractual terms are breached, and remedies available for the affected party. Tort. A tort is a civil wrong or wrongful act, whether intentional or accidental. The tort of negligence has an impact on businesses and professionals. It is important for students to understand how such a duty is formed, the circumstances that will cause a breach of that duty, and if there are any defenses to such a breach. Employment law. Employees and employers are bound by the terms of an employment contract. Hence, it is important to have a good understanding of the contents of such a contract. Both employers and their employees owe duties to each other, and breach of these duties will result in legal action. Formation and constitution of business organizations. The subject provides information about various legal forms through which business transactions may be conducted. It is important to distinguish initially between natural persons, human beings, and legal persons, including natural persons, partnerships, and companies. Management, administration, and regulation of companies. Directors of a company owe duties to manage it for the benefit of the company and that of its owners, the shareholders. There are legal rules to regulate the appointment, remuneration, disqualification, powers, and duties of directors. There are a plethora of legal rules designed to ensure that the company is taking decisions properly and in accordance with the legitimate interests of shareholders as a body. These rules form part of the subject. Insolvency law. Frequently, companies encounter financial or other difficulties and find themselves insolvent. There are procedures designed to protect struggling companies, to give them a breathing space to resolve their issues. Such rules are covered in this section of the subject. Corporate fraudulent and criminal behavior. Finally, the subject covers the situations where activities of directors and Others have strayed into criminal behavior, such as money laundering, etc. Skills required for successful completion of the subject. Students are expected to have both technical and applied knowledge. Technical knowledge in case laws, conventions, codes of practice, and legislation is important. The students must be able to identify which parts of this knowledge is relevant in a particular situation. Secondly, they must have the capability to apply knowledge to a given scenario and solve practical problems here.